Welcome to this activity guide for the test skill Decide for Mathematics. The three main objectives of this activity are shown here, so let's take a closer look at each one. The first point is to prioritize. Decide when to invest time to answer a question and when to save that question for another time. The second point is that choosing questions to answer is a skill, which like all skills can be improved through practice. And the third point is a reminder that you are in charge of your decisions, including how to move through this test skills training. Again, this skill is about setting priorities. The idea is to engage in the less challenging questions on the first pass through the test. Mark and save others for the next passes through. We explain this concept to elementary kids with stories like the one about picking oranges. Hey kids, you have a tree with 30 oranges and 21 are needed to make juice, but you have only 30 minutes. So which oranges are you going to pick first? Alright, so you see what we're trying to get across to the kids. Start by picking the low-hanging fruit. See how many questions you can pick off to reach your goal. So this skill is about how to decide. When do you invest time or save time to move on to get to the easier, less involved questions? Well, the TestCamp system requires looking at three conditions that will help you decide. The acronym in order is I, R, and S, and that stands for image, reading, and steps. Again, these are the conditions we recommend before you decide to invest time in answering a question. First, if a question has an image of any kind, like a table or a chart or a graph, or if you have to create a drawing, mark and save it. Don't just skip it, mark it and save it so that you can find it easily when you come back through your test. If there is no image, well, the next condition then is reading. If a math question has more than 2 sentences either in the stem or the answer, save it for the next pass through the test. And that brings us to the third condition for managing time. Any math question that requires more than 2 steps to find an answer is better left for the next pass through. In many questions, this might mean the step of sorting through details. You'll see in just a moment. Let's apply this test skill to some sample math questions. Do we recommend that you mark and save this question or invest time now? If you said mark and save because of the image, we agree. This might seem like a less challenging question. However, questions with images take time to analyze. Better to come back to this question the next pass through the test. Let's look at another sample question. Here there's no image. However, this is considered a geometry question. So the best strategy is to create an image, a drawing to ensure the correct ratios. In this next sample question, there's no image and no reason to invest time drawing one. However, there is reading required, more than 2 sentences, so this is a question to mark and save. This sample math question is very common. There is no image. However, there's a lot of reading in the answer set. So again, this is a question to mark and save. Here's another sample question. Is this a question to mark and save, or would you invest time now? No image provided or drawing required. Not more than 2 sentences to read. However, there are too many steps. Since numbers have to be manipulated to find the answer, this is a question to mark and save. Decide on one or more sample questions. No image, not too much reading, and not too many steps, so that if you're confident that you know this test subject, now's the time. So how much time will it take to apply this skill to every question on your test? Well, not very long. You'll actually save time by picking the low-hanging fruit first and then coming back around. This is the second skill in the TestCamp problem-solving system. Practice this skill on all types of questions to empower your test confidence.